Oh my God, I am having such a major wobble. That's the only way to describe it. A total major head beep, major, serious resistance to creating a new life for myself. So I wanted to share this with you because, as you know, I'm going to be on my travels soon. We're going to be packing up and leaving for Southeast Asia. We're starting off in Thailand on an island called Koh Chang because we've already lived there for 2.5 years before. So it's familiar, and it's always really good to start off from a place that you're familiar with, because it takes a bit of time to get settled into new surroundings, especially with the heat. Hey Becky, hey beautiful, hey Maribella, I must see you before we leave actually. Yeah, so I wanted to just share about, you see these pictures of women drinking cocktails on the beaches, and they've transformed their life and they're now living a life of luxury, and they paint a very, very rosy picture, and that's all you ever see. But I wanted to share with you about the reality of resistance, about managing resistance, about how it has shown up for me, because I've had a major wobble this weekend because my resistance to creating and up leveling into a new life has just basically come and hit me around the face. It's created quite a bit of anxiety, which I've had to get my head around, because what I don't want for people following me on this journey is for them just to think, you can sell everything, pack your bags, and then you just land somewhere, and then everything is perfect. And I don't want to create that sort of image of myself. I want to share with you the reality of what's happening. So up leveling your business is one thing. You can hit a considerable amount of resistance because you're having to, when you up level your business, you are looking at predominantly your money mindset. What's happening for you with your money story? So you have to learn to master your money story and what's happening. And then you also need to create an offer, which is a premium offer. So you're selling at the right point. So that's basically 2 steps in that process in terms of up leveling your business and being able to get your head around your whole money story and how you sit in your story and how you need to change it to up level and move forward. But I didn't see this coming, which is not unusual for me. Sometimes I have to be in it to really sort of understand what's going on emotionally. Now, up leveling your life in terms of creating a better life for yourself is actually a lot more challenging, because you get everything, any self-doubt, any limiting beliefs, anything around your business, it all comes to you at once. And that's what it is that I've been experiencing over the last couple of days, is that I have, all of this stuff that is playing out. I have basically lived abroad for 6 years. I've lived all over the world, Australia, Israel, all over the world. And I've never encountered this level of, in fact, I never had any resistance to when I was traveling. But I guess the difference is now is this is about traveling, but creating bases at the same time. So our idea of traveling around the world is to go and explore a little bit, but actually find 4 central locations that we will go to and move to, and then move to another one, particularly during rainy season. If anyone has ever experienced rainy season, you know what it's like, and it's not the best working environment for a business. So we're going to create little bases around the world that we can go to at different times of the year. So while I am an experienced traveller, and I've lived abroad for 6 years in loads of different countries, this time it feels very, very different because I'm taking the business with me. So that creates a lot of, my ego comes in and sabotages me and says, what if you can't do this? What if you can't do that? You know, what if you can't get clients? What if no one wants to work with you? What if the money story I don't have actually anymore? I've dealt with that. That's gone. Whew, thank goodness for that. You know, what if I can't get any clients? What if they don't want the offer? What if this? What if that? What if? So I've got that going on. And then I've also got going on, oh my God, I'm going to be the sole breadwinner. Can I not get any clients playing out? What if it doesn't work? What if we have to come back? Oh gosh, you know. And also what's happened as well is I've become quite attached to where I live, which is unusual for me. So I'm quite attached to here, even though I'm not 100% happy here. I am attached to belongings. My cats, I can't even talk about my cats. My cats, who I absolutely adore, we're going to have to rehome. You know, we've been settled here. I love the view. So there's all that attachment to stuff I've got around me, which is also creating a significant amount of resistance. So, you know, it may not even be conscious stuff that I'm feeling, but I'm definitely feeling very, very resistant, which when you hit that resistance and it's coming at you from all angles. So when you're up leveling the business, it's not so bad because you've just got a couple of things to focus in on and master, which you can do when you know what tools to use. Up leveling your life is a completely different ball game, and I hadn't comprehended how many different angles that would come to me at. So what's happened is I've moved into that resistance, and that resistance has created, what's it created? It's created fear, it's created anxiety, it's created overwhelm. Yeah, which is then coming up in my body because of the sheer amount of overwhelm. But the good news here is that all of this what if stuff, none of it, when you take a closer look at it, is true. And even if some of it is true, you can always find a workaround around it. You don't have to stay in that level of resistance. But what's happened for me is that you are experiencing so many different emotions, you know, attachment, abandonment, fear, going back to a place of survival rather than thriving. They're all very, very heavy and toxic emotions to be dealing with. So in that moment, you're just feeling completely overwhelmed, which pushes you into fear, which creates anxiety, which can create anxiety attacks and panic attacks if you don't see what's going on. I've been lucky this weekend. I've actually been able to go, oh my God, I'm totally overwhelmed. This is what I need to do. So this is what I've done to help me move out of that space of overwhelm. And it's going to take a few days to get out of that space because I need to manage the energy in my body in terms of how it shows up for me. I don't know if you've ever had the experience of when you've been feeling overwhelmed that your body starts to vibrate. And this is very common, apparently. I never knew that. But I've been reading about the root chakra and how it holds energy, which is, you know, based on feelings of shame, shame, fear, all those yucky feelings that we can fear, which is actually in my lower belly, which is vibrating. So I've got to get rid of that energy over the next couple of days. So the things that I am doing and will bring into a regular daily practice now to help me move past that resistance so I can really create a life that I love and create that by design. And this, I guess, is all part of that design process. It's about managing the resistance and that uncomfortable feeling you find yourself in. The first thing is I have been journaling like a mad one. When I mean journaling, I mean journaling. And what that does is it helps me to, firstly, all of this stuff that's going on, that's going, what if this, what if that, you know, all of this stuff that is just a complete illusion, but feels very, very real because it's very emotional, is that I just journal it out. I talk to myself as the adult, and I will always ask myself, okay, Wend, what's going on? What are you feeling? And then I just get everything down that I'm feeling emotionally. And then I come back. Yes, I am an adult, I know. But it's like I let my what it is I'm really thinking on an emotional and a personal level, and I get that all out. But then once I've got it all out, I can see that actually it's just a load of rubbish. It's just my personality, my identity, my ego coming in and going and just trying to keep me stuck in this present moment. So it just throws it all out you. But with journaling, once I've got that all down, I can then go back as an adult and give myself a bit of comfort in that moment to basically say, you know, you've got no evidence. What evidence have you got here? There's no evidence whatsoever that this is true, that this is the case. You know, this is what it is that you need to do. So journaling is one thing that I'm using to move out of that resistance, that level of illusion, which is basically what it is, that all of that self-doubt that's coming up and playing out in the moment, in terms of, you know, creating the overwhelm for me. That's one of the things I do. The other thing I do is a gratitude journal, which is I really love because that keeps me in a positive place, and it means that I can really appreciate things in the here and now, in the moment. So the other thing I do, meditate. I'm starting to get back into meditating a couple of hours a day, just to give my brain a bit of breathing space and to focus in on something else that is also positive and about letting go and creating a better life for yourself. So meditation, good food, really important, exercise, really important also, because it will help disperse the adrenaline I've now got in my system because of the sensory overwhelm it is that I'm experiencing on an emotional and a physical level as well. And also, one of the things that's really important here, when you start to write out all of the what ifs, what if this, what if that, da, 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 and you can map out, do like a little mini mind map of where all the stresses are coming from, that will help you manage what's happening. Because once you're aware of all the different stresses, you can make a decision as to what it is you want to keep and what it is you want to put on hold for a bit until you're feeling more comfortable to deal with it. So there'll be some stuff that I'm going to put on hold now, and I'm going to pick up when I have moved and settled in for the first month, and then I can get back focused in on that particular piece of work. So once you've got it mapped out, you can actually pull out and go, actually that's causing me a considerable bit of stress. Do I need to do it now? No, not really. And then just remove it, and then just bank it, and then do it later on. So that also helps relieve a lot of stress as well, Because some of the time we just do things in our business because we feel that we should be doing them in that moment. And actually, that's not the case. There's a lot of stuff in our business as female entrepreneurs that we can just bank, that we don't have to do right now. We don't have to keep pushing ourselves into overwhelm, which, to be honest, this is what I have done here slightly, because I didn't realize how much resistance would come up from creating a different life. Everything comes at you, any niggle, any self-doubt, your story growing up as a kid. Basically your brain goes into overwhelm. It's absolutely fascinating, and I can completely understand and empathize with women or people, male and female, small and old, young and old, is that changing patterns of behavior is really, really hard. And that's why lots of people find themselves in unhealthy situations and unable to move, because all of this drama of what if this, what if that, is actually very, very difficult or challenging to deal with. It's only because I've built these strategies up and I know how to use them for my business. When I was up leveling the business, if I hadn't used them to up level the business, I don't think we would be moving. I don't think I would be taking the business on the road, because I would have no strategy, no mechanism that I can use to really challenge the way I think. All of that self-sabotage behavior, which is basically what it is, because everything that I've mapped out is just not true. It's just not, when I've been doing my journal, I'm writing like a writing like a mad woman, getting it all down, which is really helping. Everything that I'm writing is just an illusion. While those feelings feel very real in the moment, when you start to really write it down and look for the evidence, it's just a complete illusion. It's just a story, a pattern of behavior that you are used to being in. It's a state of identity, your personality, your being, and you can change that. You absolutely can change it. So I just wanted to come on and share this message, because sipping cocktails on the beach is one thing, but in reality there is an awful lot of not just work in terms of packing up, in terms of getting rid of stuff, but there's also a massive mindset shift that goes on when you are up leveling your life. Completely different to up leveling a business. And you really need to, knowing what I know now, is to create the space to help you deal with that transition, so you don't push yourself into overwhelm, which is that I'm experiencing, which actually is perfectly natural, to be fair. If people were only honest about it, it is perfectly natural to feel that level of resistance. The important thing is to acknowledge it and to work through it. But I didn't want you to think I'm just sitting on the beach drinking cocktails, living a life by design that I have created. This is part of the painful creation process. Oh god. I'm laughing, but it's really not funny. It's really not funny. This is my humor. This is the way I deal with stress. All right then, lovelies, thank you very much for joining me. I can't actually see who's on, but thank you for sticking with me. If you've got any tips, if you've got anything to share that would help with that level of resistance, that would be awful. I tell my clients this all the time. They're just stories, and there are techniques that we can use to get us past that resistance. So it's also important for me to be authentic and let you know that actually I'm dealing with the same stuff as well. But on a different level. All right, lovelies, I'm going to go. Whatever you're doing today, have an absolutely awesome day.